Hello everyone. Today we are talking about the bow hold, how to find your best possible bow hold, how to control your bow with the fingers of the bow, and how to take your first bow strokes. So first of all, it's worth mentioning that the shape of your hand on the bow very much depends on how your hand is shaped naturally. So if you extend your arm forward and let your hand sort of fall as if you were in the water, I'd like you to observe that my hand shape is like that, but maybe some people will be a little bit more this way, or with fingers spread more or less. So whatever feels natural, it should be your bow hold. So if you now let your middle finger find its way to this metal bead of the frog. So frog, or the heel, is this part of the bow, and the black ebony part. And we are not talking about the pearl eye, we are talking about this metal bead which connects the frog to the hair of the bow. So if you could lower your middle finger so that it really touches with the fingertip, that part, it's important it doesn't get lower or higher, because it will need to control the bow from here. Now your ring finger will fall next to it in the natural position you found a moment ago while not touching your bow yet, and the other two fingers, the small little finger and the index finger, will also find their way in this natural for you position. So what is important is always start with this middle finger on the metal ring, and then the other fingers will fall naturally next to it. Middle two fingers, those two, are the most important because they will be controlling your bow and its fine movements. So especially in articulated, sort of shorter bow strokes, they will play a very important role. The other two are also important for the balance. And if you let your hand turn just tiny bit to the right, so basically it should be balanced in a straight position, but just with a little bit of inclination towards your index finger, which is much better than doing that, because that doesn't give you a lot of control. So with this slight inclination towards your index finger, we are making sure the index finger is completely free. So a very important point, and it's a common mistake, to wrap your index finger around the stick to sort of hook it round. And it's really not great, because when you take your first bow strokes, let's say that I'm going to start on the G string, and we are going to talk about it in a moment longer, but let's start with just showing you what happens if you keep it free and what happens if you hook it round. So if you keep it free, as you bow, the finger will be free to move up and down the stick, this way keeping your arm free and not tense. If you, on the other hand, hook it round, then it gets to a point where it starts feeling quite uncomfortable in this muscle here. And another valid point is that if you keep those middle fingers really in control, then you really don't need to overuse your index finger. Also, controlling your middle fingers will give you a better sound, so will give you this really sustained, strong sound. So if you do the same thing with the index finger, it definitely sounds strong, but it's a little bit less meaty, so to say. So in a way the sound is missing its core. That's why the control here is important. Now let's go to the thumb. The thumb is also quite tricky. So the thumb needs to find its way here, where this part of the frog touches the stick. So not here, but there. And it should be in a round position, which is quite difficult to achieve at first. So your hand should be in this sort of position while playing. If you position your thumb like that, it will again feel quite tense and can give you a pain in this muscle here when you play for longer. That's why flexible thumb is very important. To do that, you need to think of point of contact on this side of the thumb. So not here in the middle, but on the side of the thumb, basically, where the nail starts. So I'm going to try to show you like that. So if you position it more in the middle, that your thumb will have a tendency to get straight. But if the point of contact is your inner nail, so actually the skin, but close to the nail, then it will be easier to keep it in the round position. So this is how the bow hold should look like. Sometimes you may find difficult at first to feel quite comfortable with your fingers on the bow, and this is also very normal because it takes time to develop comfortable bow hold. It will take you a few weeks really, so don't be surprised if it doesn't really feel completely natural at first. But if you're really struggling to keep the fingers where they are without losing contact, what you can do first is to take the learning bow hold. So that will be still keeping that round position, but holding the bow on the stick like that. The bow is lighter there, so when you start bowing, it will feel lighter and maybe a little bit easier. Also, because you are holding the bow with your fingertips, then you cannot really lose control. So students' bow hold or learning bow hold is a good one at first if you're really struggling to keep your fingertips where they will be later, so on the frog. Let's take our first bow stroke. I would like you to position your bow on the G string. It's one that is a little bit easier to reach than, let's say, D or especially A. And for learning purposes, it's more valuable at first than C string. So let's place the bow on the G string, and I'd like you now to really feel the contact of your fingers. So feel that you're really in contact with your string, and then after that we are going to start with the middle of the bow. So we're not going to go all the way through, we are just only going to do half bow stroke. So before you start, think of this muscle. So that outer muscle of the arm is the one that is taking the first movement. So be in control here, but then relax your shoulder. This is very important, but think of starting the movement from here. So basically pull the bow, go to the middle. Now again, get back in touch with your string. You may feel that sometimes you lose that contact. So for example, when you start playing at first, you may lose that contact. So if that happens, don't worry. When you get to the middle, get back in touch with your string. So feel that your fingers are really in control, and relax your shoulder. Now on the way back, which is called up bow, you will feel the inner muscle of your arm taking charge. So this will be pushing the bow. Feel that it starts from here, but relax your shoulder. So let it go down. We're not keeping it up, we're letting it go down like this. And feeling the movement from here, we pushing the bow. So these are your half strokes. We can do the same thing on different strings, obviously, and it will be good to try, especially the D string. So we are going to do it now. D string. Feel the contact, especially in the middle fingers, and this muscle takes charge, shoulder down. And now, on the way back, get in touch with your string, feel the contact. This muscle will be pushing, but the shoulder goes down and we take a stroke up. So let's remember, this is called down bow and this is called up bow. And it will be great if you could do it also on the C string. this is slightly less comfortable, so let's remember to relax the shoulder and pull from here, then relax your shoulder and push from here, going up. Before we take our full bow strokes, I would like to show you an exercise which will teach you how to move your arm when you use your full bow. Please use your other hand, your left hand, to position the bow close to its tip, a lot on the D string best, so make sure that bow is stable. And now let your hand fall to the frog. Now, not moving the bow at all, only your arm, slide up and then down. While you do it, please make sure that you really keep your shoulder completely relaxed and doing it both ways. Now, that feels very easy, especially if you don't let your arm go up, but just really let it go. Then doing this, it feels like the most natural thing you could possibly do. Now, it doesn't quite feel this way when we play, because our expectations of the sound we make come into play. So you will sometimes maybe make a sound you don't like, you get tense, and then your shoulder will go up. So that's why this exercise is teaching you what to do when you bow, but without taking any risks, so to say. Now, once you have done that, we are going to go to our playing, and I would like you to position the bow on the D string this time. Please feel the contact in the middle fingers. Make sure the thumb on the other side is round, as we talked about it before, and relaxed, loose index finger. Now, contact, so feel it in your fingers, but relax your shoulder. Remember, this muscles pulls the bow, so once you're ready, contact, but then relax and go. And then I'm only going to the middle of the bow, because this is the point where sometimes our arm gets tense, so we going to let it go, drop it, and then go with the contact of the bow. Feel it, then relax, and then go the second half. The same thing on the way back. So now we are in the position which feels a little bit less comfortable, but remember to relax your index finger, stay in touch with the middle fingers of the bow, but the index finger can go sort of slide down a little bit. This will help your arm relax. So keep the contact with your string, relax your shoulder, and then relax and go. Halfway. We're relaxing the shoulder again, get the contact, relax and go. So when you then take the full bow strokes, you have tried that, let's say, a few times, this exercise. So one more time. Relax, contact, relax, go. Contact, relax, go. Contact, relax, go. You have done that a few times, remembering this is the muscle going down and this is the muscles pushing the bow going up. Now, then you will be ready for your first full bow strokes, but you need to find a way to keep relaxing on the way. So, contact, relax, remember, pull from here, and while you do that, you can sort of keep relaxing your shoulder and stay in touch with the bow and the string. So sometimes it may feel a little bit hardcore, but you may try to raise up the index finger and see whether your middle fingers are actually really in control. It will feel difficult, and I don't recommend this exercise for a long time because it may make your hand quite tense. So it's only for a little while. We raising the index finger, even maybe the middle finger, the small finger if you can manage. Feel the contact, relax your shoulder, still very important, and go. Now, can you stay in touch with your string while doing that? This is difficult, but if you can do it, then you have definitely mastered the the contact of your fingers with the bow. This is an exercise which is really good for people at various stages. So if you are a beginner, obviously, but if you are quite advanced but still struggle with good contact, this is a very good exercise for you too. So thank you for today's lesson. In the next video I will show you more bowing exercises and how to find your best possible sound and still stay in control.